You know what's something we haven't talked about? We haven't talked about this at all. Now, we both saw Twisters.
Yes, we did.
We both saw Twisters. Who directed Twisters? Do we know?
It's one of these like new directors, I want to say, but I can't remember the name offhand.
It's like generic European guy.
Yeah.
See one of these people? No, I'm sorry. Asian man, Lee Isaac Chung. Lee Isaac Chung. What else has he done? He directed.
Yes.
He directed
Yes,
Minari.
that's right.
That he directed Minari a couple years ago. Didn't that get nominated? Minari is the one with Stephen Yoon, and it's about like that Korean family that moves into like the little double wide.
Never got around to that one, but that was definitely
okay.
like one of those, noms. Yeah.
They do this. They always do this to these fucking people. They make like some indie hit that everybody likes, and then they're off to make Twisters or a Marvel movie or a Jurassic World movie. It's like it's insane. I don't know why these guys accept these jobs because it ain't working out for you. It's not working out for you. So I saw Twisters. I took my son to see it. My son definitely asked me about an hour in if we could leave, and I told him no. I said, you have to suffer through this with me. Signal Intrusion says, Cinema Snob is somehow the least awkward of that crew. Yeah, he's the only, we'll say, talented one, respectable one, something in that sphere of words. In that sphere of words.
He's still, I don't know if he's still close friends with Doug Walker like he was in the last few years, but he's definitely branched out completely and just kind of evaded that whole scene. You know, it just wasn't for him.
Yeah,
you know?
well, because they had so many failed projects, so many things that started and stopped, and the retirement of the Cinema Snob, or not the Cinema Snob, the Nostalgia Critic, and then they had like that weird sketch show, and then they had like a game show that he hosted that was apparently awful. But I think, they're also friends because of proximity. I think they live kind of in the same general vicinity. They all live in Illinois.
Yeah. Yep.
Can't trust these people, Jeremy. But anyways,
No.
Twisters. What did you think of Twisters? So you saw Twisters a couple weeks ago. I know it's a little farther back in your memory, but
we talked a little bit about I guess off camera, off of StreamYard a while ago about like some of the movies we caught up with recently, gearing up for this. With Twisters, I ended up actually thinking it was fine and actually okay and entertaining and not being this full-on retread sort of disaster. It was, I actually had a smile on my face for a lot of it just because everybody was just kind of like having a good time. It seemed like making it. And in fact, the Twisters themselves, my biggest worry was that they were going to go overkill with the CGI, and they don't really. There was actually kind of almost like a tonal respect for the original to some degree. But I will say it does have the quality of a modern movie right now that's getting made where characters are not as close or interesting or intimate as they could be, the way that original one still kind of did. And the ending kind of left me unsatisfied. Like, why didn't they even like kiss at the end? Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah. We've a lot of people honed into that, and the reason why I think people noticed it is because the entire movie is building up to it.
Yeah,
and it makes and you can tell that in post production they kind of removed the romantic elements of the story.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, dude, he's literally like sleeping in her mom's barn,
right?
Being like hot Glenn Powell, like talking about Twisters and shit, like looking under science, and you're like, oh, and they're just friends. They're just supposed to be pals,
right?
You're like, okay, guys. I understand what you mean, and I guess I would say out of like the last few years of kind of populist popcorn movies, I would say Twisters is probably somewhere amongst the better of them. I did not like it kind of at all. I was very bored by the movie. Actually, I'll read my little Letterboxd review, and then I'm going to bring on Dan Profitt. He says, if you told me that Twisters was created using an AI, I would believe you. It hits all the beats you'd expect, just in the most sterile, lifeless way possible. It doesn't
Yeah,
even have the
kind of.
gumption to explore the very clearly supposed to be there love triangle. It's so obvious that it's supposed to be there that it becomes distracting and annoying. What makes it even weirder is that it's coded feminine to the point of essentially being a chick flick, for lack of a better way to put it. I guess it's Hollywood's way of letting mids know that, yes, he does actually love you for your mind and nothing else. Also, there's zero stakes or conflict. It's fucking weird. The whole movie business is fucking broken, dead and lifeless, just boring generic caricatures of awful millennials. The note about avoiding cliches in a Twister-type movie was bad advice. The cucked ending made me laugh out loud. Yes, what we all wanted was for them to develop mutual respect for each other as peers. A kiss? That's gay, bro. Fuck movies.
Yeah, I was going to mention that too. Like, the only stakes are in the first 20 minutes, the first 15 minutes, and then that's it. Like, they just give up on like actually having you care about anybody.
You know, I revisited the original 1996 Twister before we went to go see the new one. And Dan, you're in, just so you know, just so you don't start pulling your dick out again. I revisited it, and I don't think Twister is like the greatest movie ever. It's like, you know, a 6.5 out of 10, but it's very enjoyable. It's very watchable. Most of that has to do with its cast. It's a very stacked cast of character actors. Like, everybody that you've ever seen in anything for like the 20 years leading up to Twisters is in Twisters. And at least in that movie, it has a little bit of an edge to it. It has some real danger. It has real stakes. The bad guys actually die. In the original, Carrie Ells is like the counter storm chaser team, and he gets fucking sucked up into a tornado. And the new one, they literally go out of their way to save the guy, and they all like hold hands and cry together. I was like, what the fuck am I watching? Can't this guy just be the bad dude that has the hots for this chick? And now Glenn Powell's here, and he's like a hot rod redneck, and she kind of likes him instead. Like, we can't just do that simple shit. Like, no, we can't even do that. It just has to be like this completely asexual, devoid of life experience. And that's why they're amusement park rides. Like, I think Scorsese kind of nailed it. They're amusement park rides. They're not movies. They're not films. You're not going to learn anything about anything. Unlike Deadpool and Wolverine, which we're about to talk about.
And a total and complete cast of baby adults. You know, we got to stop this.
Somebody put testosterone or something in the cereal that these guys are eating. Like, what the fuck? Glenn Powell's the only one that looks like a man.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. Yeah. And he's like a caricature. He's like a fucking hot rodding, like, hi, woohoo. It's crazy. It's crazy. Anyways, how you doing, Dan Profitt?
I'm fantastic. I've had one of the best days of my life today. Absolutely top notch. And I want to mention that, you know, I haven't seen Twisters, but it is very hard to top the power and majesty of the Goo Goo Dolls' Long Way Down as a number one hit for your movie soundtrack. Like, what's the number one hit from Twisters movie soundtrack? They got nothing. The first one had Long Way Down, bro. That's like the sound of the 90s right there.
It's a good sound, yeah.
They should have gone all the way back to the 90s if they wanted to do Twisters instead of Twister. Now there's more than one now, okay? Ooh. They should have used fucking song number 2 by Blur. Just like really hit us in those nostalgia pangs. That should have been the trailer, dude. Fucking easy money. Guys in trucks just spitting dirt out as they're chasing tornadoes. That song's playing. Fucking hot chick with her boobs popping out.
Rolling coal on a tornado. The dude's fucking rolling coal on a fucking F5. Long Way Down is blasting our way. No, Blur is blasting too. Easy money.
Easy money.
These fucking people just leave it on the table.
It's President Hollywood. Give me a call, dude. Come on.
The whole time too, I was totally expecting that they were gonna like pull up the ghosts of like Bill Paxton and Philip Seymour Hoffman just like showing up in the Twisters at some point. Like, don't worry, I'll guide you through this.
I would have liked the movie if that happened. I would have been like, you know what? Now I'm on board. Now I'm locked in, dude. This is a legacy sequel. Why wasn't one of the characters like one of their kids? How does that? I know. Like, why not? Why not just do that? Instead, they're like, no, we got to be unique. We got to be our own thing. Why? You're a sequel to a 25-year-old fucking movie. Why do you need to do your own thing? That's retarded. Oh,
Hollywood can only be unique when it sucks. When it's just like the dumbest idea possible.
You're not wrong.
Then all of a sudden they're unique, and then it's like, well, Shit. You
Just
roll
save
with
it for a second. Let me just get through some of these chats, and then we're gonna go right into Deadpool and Wolverine. Signal Intrusion says Cinema Snob is somehow the least awkward of that crew. Trembling says that British guy was the absolute worst of them. Well, no, Linkara was the worst of them. The Medicare video on Linkara is an all-time classic. It really is. He's a creepy little weird sex pest that is very into Power Rangers and will not apologize for it, okay? Trembling says, I want Profitt to have the cupboard from the Indian in the cupboard. He has a lurid affair with April O'Neil figure come to life. That would be sick. That would be sick.
That's interracial. I don't approve that.
As soon as I get punching bag behind me, that's the next one. It's going to be April in the cupboard. It's going to be a porn. We're going to make the classic. We're going to be like fucking Burt Reynolds and Boogie Nights. You know, you got to make the story good. Yeah, of course you're going to squirt your juice. Of course you're going to squirt. Then you got to stay in the seats and watch the rest of the movie.
Casey's on the other side.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah, because Casey would get involved, and he could be like the villain. It'd be good. It'd be good stuff. And then obviously the coming and the fucking and all that stuff too. Signal Intrusion says the evil storm chaser driver gets fucking impaled. That's right. Signal Intrusion also says Bill Paxton's face in a tornado like the Mummy sandstorm would be amazing. It would be. And then Trembling, this is the final one. Because Helen Hunt looks like a witch now, she'd be more frightening a sight than F5 in your backyard. That's kind of true. She aged pretty hard. And now I like Helen Hunt. Just, my mom used to watch Mad About You. I used to watch that growing up. One of my favorite movies is As Good as It Gets. So I'm like perpetually like a 60-year-old Jewish man, apparently.
I was thinking about that movie the other day. I was thinking about how that's still a heavy hitter, and I want to watch it again.
Dude, Nicholson is so good in that. He's incredible in that movie.